India's hospitals remain under huge pressure to tackle the pandemic as they continue registering new cases with significant death toll. Zimbabwe's government decision to stop printing new currency has paid dividend as the country registers its lowest inflation rate in 3 years. And leaders of the Intergovernmental Authority on Development are meeting in Uganda in search of a solution to the growing instability in the Horn of Africa. These and more coming your way on The World Today. Do stay with us. Good evening, viewers. You're watching The World Today newscast here on Africa TV with me, Sahna Tunkara. And now to our news in detail. India's hospitals remain under huge pressure as a second wave of coronavirus takes hold of the country. Medical workers were seen receiving patients at a hospital in New Delhi on Thursday as family members awaited news outside. Fatmata Kasim has more of that in this report.
A couple of months back, India had started to get back to normal and that people were convinced that the deadly coronavirus had left the country. While some claim Indians had great immunity, others mock Western countries for not being able to contain something as small as coronavirus. As Indians fight the second wave of the pandemic, support continues to pour in India from around the globe. Golden Sack has pledged an additional $10 million commitment to support relief and recovery efforts in India. However, Chitra Ravand, a patient relative, described the treatment given to his father inside the hospital as a substandard service.
I admitted my father yesterday to this hospital. He is in ward number 2B in bed number 29. Whenever I speak to him, he is saying he is not given any treatment, but only given oxygen. We have no idea what his oxygen levels are because there is no screen, no oximeter. Gradually, his breathing level also increased. Not so how he will survive like this.
He went on to say that all he needed was for his father to get medication, without which there was no need to the hospital.
All I ask is even if he don't get any help, he needs treatment because they are not giving him an injection and he hasn't got any medicine. But then the patient's condition is deteriorating and he is having a problem in breathing. If he doesn't get any medicine, how will he get better?
The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare issued a statement indicating that the government of India was taking all necessary steps to ensure that they are prepared to face the challenge and the threat posed by the growing pandemic of COVID-19. The statement said the most important factor in preventing the spread of the virus locally was to empower citizens with the right information and taking precautions as per the advisories being issued by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Another patient's relative, Satyapal Singh, accused the government for lack of compassion and the inability to support anyone at all.
Today, I want to say with sadness, inside Delhi, there are young children of the people are dying. Father of someone, mother of someone, the sister of someone, the brother of someone dying like this. These governments have failed in all places. We have been looking for hospitals for the last 4 days. There is no bed available. There is no oxygen available in any hospital in Delhi. Today, we are carrying the body of the children who got married 1 year and 2 months ago. This government has no compassion. It is not able to support anyone at all. There's no place inside any hospital. My request to all with folded hands is to stay inside their homes and to keep their children and their families healthy and safe inside their homes.
India looks like a war zone where people are losing their lives to the enemy. Things could have been different had the enemy's potential not been underestimated. On Thursday, daily infection hit a new high of 379,459 in India, with hospitals full despite the shortage of oxygen supplies. Since the beginning of the pandemic, the country has registered more than 18 million confirmed cases of coronavirus and more than 204,000 deaths with COVID-19, according to data compiled by Johns Hopkins University. For iAfrica News, I am Fatoumata Kasim.
Unfortunate situation unfolding in India as more people are contracting the virus. Now in Gambia, former Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Mama Fatima Singate, said the Truth Commission does not have the rights to ask about the tax commission, which she headed in 2011. She told the commission that it was set up to look into corrupt practices and tax evasion from accountants and legal practitioners to companies and tax-paid institutions. However, investigations appeared to show that most people that appeared in the tax commission were lawyers and businessmen who were seen as opposition to Yahya Jammeh.
Former Attorney General Fatima Singate says the tax commission established in 2011 was meant to stop people from engaging in corrupt practices and evading tax. But Deputy Lead Counsel Hadidande Jabi tells her that the said commission was set up by Yahya Jammeh to specifically target legal practitioners and private business entities. She asked lawyer Singate to give information on the number of lawyers that faced the tax commission, and this is her response.
Again, I cannot talk about the workings of the commission and the reasoning behind the commission.
Mënuma wax li nga xamné moy liggéey doxalini liggéey commission bobu ak li nga xamné mo doon waruga li taxone mu am.
Because not only are you creating a precedent,
nekku rek ne sa da nga nek di xalé nak luy jëm ci kaw.
It's not right.
Nekku nak lo xamné ni jaaduna.
Once the Commission of Inquiry completed its work,
gannaaw bo xamé ni jéxal nañ seen mandat ak seen liggéey.
Its mandate had expired.
Mandat am jeexna.
There's no law that says that anybody should ask any commissioner or chairperson about the content of the report and require an explanation about the content of the report.
Madam Singate says it is dangerous to talk about the commission that has already been concluded. She said if the commission wants to know anything about their work, it has to read the report of the tax commission. The tax commission was completed in March 2012, and 1 year later, in August 2013, Madam Singate was appointed Minister of Justice. Hadidande Jabi again asked her about the implementation of the tax commission report, and this is what she has to say.
When you became minister, you now took over responsibility of all the files in the ministry. I became responsible for all the files in the ministry, but I expressly requested and instructed the Solicitor General to take over all tax commission files.
Daldi on na jël file yépp nak ci ron ministre way nak daldi on na xentu li nga xamné mu ngi jëm ci wali taxaway Solicitor General bi lu jëm ci wali tax file bobu. Because I felt that it was a conflict of interest and I did not want to deal with the tax commission anymore.
Miss Mama Fatima Singate is a Gambian lawyer, judge and politician. She holds a master's degree in international business law from the University of Hull. She served as judge first in High Court and then at the Court of Appeal of the Gambia between 2009 and 2013. She subsequently served as Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Gambia from 2013 to 2014 and again from 2015 to 2017. She currently serves as the United Nations Special Rapporteur on sale and sexual exploitation of children. For iAfrica TV, this is Omar Ahmadu Toure reporting.
A Germany non-government organization, ROG agency, has officially launched the Migrant Media Network project for the Gambia on Thursday. The project seeks to provide reliable information to potential migrants to make informed choices. Amin Dao tells us more.
Migration plays a significant role in Gambian society as overseas remittances from nearly 118,000 Gambians living abroad account for over 20% of the country's gross domestic product. Despite its important role, migration is punctuated with negative impact on the lives of many who embark on the irregular routes known as the back way in search of greener pastures. These are among the complexities that the Migration Media Network project aims to counter with the support of ROG agency in the Gambia. The implementation stage is expected to stimulate rigorous information sharing with the public on both the positive and negative sides of migration. Dembo Kambi, the coordinator of Migrant Media Network in the Gambia, highlights the importance of the project.
People are moving out of this country in search for greener pasture because they don't have access to information. Information in the sense that we are most of the time moved by the photos on social media like WhatsApps and the Facebook of our friends who have gone through the back way. But the route that they have taken to get to Italy or Germany at the condition that they are living in Germany or Italy, in other countries, probably they will not expose some of those conditions. Some of them are in very critical conditions. Some of us are in very, very, very horrible conditions. But I'm trying to give them information, correct information about migration. That's what the project intends to do. And they will make a decision as to whether to go or not to go. Because if I don't get information, probably I might be enticed by photos of my friends or pictures of my friends that I normally see on Facebook and other places and said, okay, I'm also going. Or you think somebody will come and say, Europe is this, you find money in the street and take it and bring it home and do whatever you want to do. That is not what is in Europe.
Shabelle Bloch, a member of the German consulate in the Gambia, expressed her feelings on the project known as MMN.
What I like about this project is that it engages young people in the dialogue and gives them, amongst other things, the tools necessary to see past the lies of the smugglers. However, I cannot explain it better than the project coordinators already did. I would like to thank the Gambian stakeholders, ROC Agency, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and the participants for embracing this project. I'm especially happy to see that the diaspora is also involved in this project. Germany continues to stay engaged in the Gambia in many different ways and with many different partners, and this is also a very important issue for us.
Usman Fati, the chairman of National Youth Council, pledged the council's support to the MMN participants.
So the participants, my advice would be, please take the training seriously. Please take this training seriously. Because you are trained to go out there and disseminate the knowledge that is gained. So please take the advice. So take this training seriously so that you will gain accurate knowledge that will benefit the young people out there. So the eyes of the young people are on you. So the success stories should start from you. This is a pilot project. So let's take this training seriously so that we succeed. And I believe you have the capacity, you have the know-how, you have the technical, you have everything. Because NYC is ready to give you the full support that is needed. Our doors are open. Anytime, anywhere. There is nothing like working hours for us, NYC. We work 24/7. Migration Media Network project officially launched.
According to the organization, it was indicated through a survey that the regions of West Coast, North Bank, Lower River and Upper River of the Gambia are hit by irregular migration and that the project will put its focus on those areas. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Amindao.
From the report by Amindao, a look at Zimbabwe, where the government decision to stop printing new currency has paid dividend as the country registers its lowest inflation rate in 3 years. The move was geared towards stabilizing the economy while controlling exorbitant inflation in the market. Despite the significant improvement, some analysts raised concern as to how the government could pay farm products from local producers.
Annual inflation for the month of April was 194%, its lowest level in 2 years, and monthly inflation came in at 1.58%, the 8th consecutive month it has been below 5.5%, vindicating government's stance to stop printing money.
But remember, money supply was behind the volatility we saw in inflation, as well as the depreciation of the exchange rate, which actually drove the inflationary prices that we saw in the market.
Sustaining the gains depends on keeping the foreign currency auction adequately funded, the outcome of tense wage negotiations with civil servants, and managing payments for a bumper grain harvest.
I don't think we will see a double increase in terms of wages, but probably the fear is on the maize purchase, where we are looking at about 60 billion. As much as government is saying that it will not be inflationary because it will take about 6 months. But remember, farmers are delivering now, and they need to be paid probably 20 billion in the first 2 months of our harvest. And looking at what is in the government's coffers, when you look at what they have at the Reserve Bank, it's roughly about $10 billion. When you look at what they have at other banks, it's also not enough for them to be paying the $20 billion.
Government says it intends to get the money through selling the maize to grain millers. However, whenever there is a good harvest, as is forecast this year, people tend to consume from their own grain reserves first before buying from supermarkets, which could subdue demand and limit how much millers can buy.
Master break and the news continues. Stay tuned.
The pride we take in our brand, the work we put into constantly change the landscape and elevate real estate in the Gambia, it's compared to none. From inception, our goal was to add value to the beautiful Gambian landscape. That's why we are proud innovators of community estates. Kololi Sands is an exceptional piece of work, tailored for ultimate convenience and luxury, to bring you an element of finesse that is rare but unique in its own. This is also our pride and joy, and we welcome you to the exquisite beauty right here in Kololi and right here on the waterfront. Kololi Sands, feel the ocean breeze at your doorstep.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is the World Today newscast here on Africa TV. And to the remaining stories, Tunisia is set to open a new shipping line linking to neighboring Libya as part of efforts to resuscitate their economies. The new line connecting different ports between the two countries will further boost export activities, according to their authorities. The North African nations are also putting in plans to improve the movement of their people and enhance financial procedures. Details of that in this report.
Tunisian Minister of Transport and Logistics noted that his government will facilitate the implementation of the shipping line. Tunisia views this strategic project as a booster for maritime activity in North Africa.
We are pushing for public-private partnerships to improve the performance of our commercial ports and shipping lines. Tunisia cannot boost exports without efficient ports. The coronavirus crisis hit on maritime links, especially passenger transport. Maritime activity will resume at a normal pace after the pandemic.
The Director General of the Tunisian Export Promotion Center, CIPEX, declared that opening a shipping line between Libya's port of Misrata and ports of Sfax and La Goulette will promote the development of Tunisia's exports to neighboring Libya.
Tunisia and Libya will build on previous successful experiences in order to reach economic complementarity. Together, we can boost our economic exchange and trade by building stronger and lasting shipping lines.
Libyan entrepreneurs assert that Libyan and Tunisian business operators are willing to expand trade relations between the two North African states and to promote joint investment projects.
Libya and Tunisia are one country. People need access to free circulation in this geographic area. Both countries have suffered from economic hardships due to coronavirus. The new shipping line will boost trade and the movement of people, vehicles and goods.
The borders between Libya and Tunisia remained closed for months. Now, the reopening and the shipping line will help the tourism, healthcare and export sectors. Libya and Tunisia need the increased flow of people, goods and services.
Tunis and Tripoli will also facilitate travel between the two countries and financial procedures between the Central Bank of Tunisia and the Central Bank of Libya. Tunisia aims to regain the pace of its trade with Libya before 2010, especially with the return to stability in this country. According to the National Institute of Statistics, bilateral trade accounted for almost 7% of Tunisia's total foreign trade in 2010.
Moving on to our last stories, leaders of the Intergovernmental Authority on Development are meeting in Uganda in search of a solution to the growing instability in the Horn of Africa. The increase in violence in different countries such as Ethiopia, Somalia and South Sudan have prompted the Kampala summit, thus availing leaders the opportunity to discuss how the situation could be controlled. More than 10,000 people are said to have died in 2020 due to the ongoing regional conflict. Here is more of that in this report.
Peace has been elusive for decades across the Horn of Africa. It's a corner of the continent deemed essential to the stability of the region for the international community as well. But acute alarm is growing over the conflict in Ethiopia's north, the worst political violence seen in Somalia for years, and a famine in South Sudan amid fresh and brutal clashes. Regional leaders meeting in Uganda say they want to bring the situation under control.
Now we have a political crisis and security crisis in Somalia, but I am very happy as IGAD Executive Secretary. Things in Somalia, it would have been devastating effect.
Immediate solutions to other hotspots in Ethiopia and South Sudan are not obvious. Regional leaders have gathered here to find ways of ending a spike in violence in the region. They are concerned that many lives are being lost in the ongoing conflicts. According to a new IGAD report, over 10,000 people died in 2020 due to the conflicts in the region. Leaders are now reviewing their mechanisms of avoiding wars. There is talk of an early warning and response system.
The best mechanism or the best investment that our regional states and governments should do is investing on prevention. So investing after things are happening is a very costly thing. Costly in terms of life, costly in terms of resource.
Uganda says it is currently building Somalia's capacity to handle its disagreements internally.
We had hoped by now Somalia would be entirely peaceful, it would have a civilian administration, and it would manage its own security affairs. You and I know that we have not yet reached there.
The leaders here believe by the end of this meeting, fresh ideas from avoiding conflict might emerge. The details are still to come.
With that report brings the World Today newscast to an end. Thanks for watching. I am Sohna Tunkara, and bye for now.